Everyone, welcome to another match today in Group B. It's going to be Kyle versus Michal. This is going to be a really interesting match. This is going to be our first midday match, and this should be really wonderful. And I'm really excited to see both these competitors compete for the first time in Clock Cup. Also, both of them are not using the Anders mod, which is the first time that's happened this season. So, um, yeah. Other than that, let's begin. So, Kyle, you are the better seed. Would you like to go with heads or tails for the coin flip? We're gonna go with heads. All right. And it's going to be tails. So, Michal, would you like to go first or second? Second. All right. So Kyle will go first. You'll go second. And good luck to the both of you. I'm going to regenerate the scramble. So the scramble that shows up after this will be your actual scramble. All right. Good luck. And let's begin. So what I didn't tell them is that so far, oddly enough, every time in Clock Cup, it's usually always tails. So, it's quite interesting. Okay. We have 21 viewers here. Share this with your friends because, wow, this is going to be a really, really exciting matchup here. Kyle is going with 7 simul, as he normally would, but it's a very rocky start. I can definitely tell that he's nervous and doing those actual simul moves. If you're trying to improve in 7 simul, I think one thing I've been told is to actually practice simuling the moves, because I think a common thing to do is you don't do that, and then, yeah. Michal is going to go. Trying to be a 694, that should be pretty easy. I believe he uses flip. No, sorry, he uses 7 simul. So this is a 7 simul battle here. I did not do my research properly, but he solves it. That's going to be very solid, 455. So a point for Michal here. What a way to start the match. That first blood is what the chat is saying this match will turn out to be, 84-16. If you look at the percentages, that is a huge percentage. Probably the biggest percentage I've seen. Last time with Carter Thomas and Eddie Artsy, it was 50-50. So let's see if we can get some Kyle fans in the chat. If you want to know something, I am I am friends with Kyle, so we see each other at comps. I can't root for him specifically, but of course, as I want all competitors to do, I want them to do well. So hopefully he does well, but that's gonna be probably a free, I would say. Yeah, 342. Wow. The scramble, I mean, I guess it might have a little bit in it for 7 simul, but I don't really see too much. Maybe it's just the moves are pretty short from what I can tell from that diag case. Or sorry, not that diag, that adjacent case as I like to call it, like the L-shaped one. I'm just gonna opt to go for that in the back. I'm not sure if that beats it, but it's still pretty good. I can't tell what that is, but 405. So 2 points for Michal here. Yeah. Alright, so now it's 25-75. It's not that bad. A lot of Michal fans in the chat here. Will Michal perform a sweep against Kyle? A sweep is when you go 15-0. It's only happened once in Clock Cup, or maybe twice. I'm not sure. I think I might have forgotten. I'll double check that for you, but he's gonna double check that clock as he takes a 477. Yeah, so a 15-0 has only happened once. Now it was against Zaid Chowdhury versus Arifman bin Arifin. But Michal is going to win that again, so by the way, Zaid is competing in this Clock Cup group. He is competing in Group D, if I'm not mistaken. I think Zaid got one of the easier groups, being paired with Edwin Marcel. Actually, I'm not sure what that group looks like, but that looks solid for Michal. That's going to be a 4 of some sorts, but I imagine he'd be okay with that. It's going to be a 438. Kyle has yet to get a sub 4. Although he did get a, I think a low 4 in qualification, so maybe he has an opportunity to turn this around. I do see a bar, and that could probably help with that. Does that beat it? He hesitates a little bit. That's going to be a 4 flat, so yeah, that beats it. He gets a point on the board. It's going to be 1 Kyle, 3 Michal. Yeah, a lot of Michal supporters in the chat here. It might be considered like an underdog, I would say. Ooh, that's rough from Kyle. 529, I mean, it's not a complete blowout. Michal just really needs a safety to solve. Because his mean right now is 422, which is pretty consistent. He hasn't made any major slip-ups yet, from what I remember. And I don't... I think, yeah, it's solved. But it took a little longer. It's a 543. I think he safetied a little too hard there. That's going to be... I think Kyle is going to be very, very, very intrigued by that. It's 2-3. Yeah, Kyle looks happy. Does anyone know why Kyle Y2's at the end of his memo? That is pretty weird. We'll look out for it, I guess, in the next solve. Alright. Michal looks... This is pretty fast here. He didn't DNF the backside, hopefully, yeah. That's going to be a 406. It's very solid. It's a solid way to come back. Not letting Kyle take the chance to equalize here after that really stunning start from Michal. This is in contention for being one of the closer matches of this Clock Cup. Because so far the results have been 15-2. 2 matches of 15-2. Kyle doesn't look happy because that definitely doesn't beat a 406. It's going to be a 467. So it's going to be a point for Michal here. 2-4. Michal's favor. And I believe Kyle is the one that's going to be solving now. All right. Yeah, I don't know why he Y2's at the end. It could be something to do with the slash memo. Ooh. That looked really solid. Or maybe it just looked faster on a camera there. 448. Maybe that that clock stop was more impressive than it needed to be considering the solve. But 448, that could definitely be called if he's not careful, but I think Michal's gonna take that 348. Yeah, Kyle looks a little displeased that he beat him by a whole second there. 348. It's 5-2 in Michal's favor. Kyle definitely has a chance to turn this around, maybe because Kyle was also being a little consistent. He just had two slip ups there. Like a 694 to 529, but Michal also did a slip up at a 543 when he really should have gone for the safety. As other than that, all of his solves have been sub 5. So this could be interesting to watch. That looked decent, I shall say. That's going to be a free... Oh, that's more than decent. 382. Yeah, clock up here is at another level, I should say. Yeah, more and more, the results are shifting to Kyle. Oh, it's a DNF, I'm pretty sure. It's free, or maybe it's on a DNF, but it could, yeah, just didn't beat Michal there. So, Kyle is knocking on the door, but he needs to make sure he can get in before Michal runs away with this, because right now Michal is taking advantage of that 3-0 lead earlier. It seems like Kyle hasn't got an opportunity to equalize since his initial opportunity to equalize. Looks very shaky. Yeah. Definitely looked a little awkward in the memo, and that's DNF. So that's probably going to be Michal's 7th point. But we'll see what happens. Anything can happen here. This is clock up. As we saw last match, we've seen both competitors DNF one time, and then the other time we've also seen two competitors get a 2. So the same solve. So Michal is going to hard safety that, I should say. It's a 554, so its safety results in a 7-2 lead for Michal. 6 points till halftime. Kyle does technically have a chance to take the lead at halftime, but not entirely sure if he will at this rate. Michal has won the past 4 solves in 4. A bit awkward, I should say, on some of the moves, but yeah, that might be a DNF. That is going to be a DNF, so this could be a gateway for Kyle to get back into the match here, essentially giving him a free point. Kyle needs to be very careful here, because you always need to take advantage of those extra points that the competitor gives you, especially when you're doing 7 simul. He's going to simul this. No, he's going to flip. But it's not going to be a very fast solve, I can tell. Yeah. It's going to be an 8 from Kyle. I wonder what he averages on flip, actually. That is a pretty interesting relation that I should make. Let's talk about Kyle. We have a fun fact about him. He got the fastest counting solve in U.S. Nationals for round 2 of clock, but then he didn't make clock finals. Yeah, I remembered that. I remember he did really well in that second round. And I thought he was gonna make it, but I think he DNF'd his average. So, oh, did he DNF? Yeah, it looks like a DNF there. That looks like a pretty solid solve as well. 472. Probably could have hesitated at the end, but Michal's going to take the lead at halftime. There could be room for him to turn this around. Yeah, hard safety there. It's going to be a 552. In all of his completed solves, Michal has consistently gotten sub 6. So, lesson to be learned from Kyle, who has a 6 and an 8 right now, and 2 DNFs. 2 DNFs in the last 3 solves, so he really needs to keep his composure, make sure he turns slower rather than focusing on the speed element necessarily. For all of you new viewers watching, this is a first to 15 event, but there's going to be a halftime at 15 solves if the competitors request for one. If they do not, we just keep on going. That looked very good from Michal. That's going to be a 4.26. Yeah, Kyle, that move, I think that pinky move was pretty awkward there. And yeah, it's a DNF on the backside, so 3 DNFs and 4 solves, that's not a good way to make your Claw Cup debut here. But like I said, anything could really happen. Actually, I can't wait to face Kyle, I should say. And Michal, too. Ooh, he's getting really shaky. Is it solved? It's not even solved. It's going to be 4 DNFs in 5. That is... Oh, no. That is really unfortunate from Kyle. So Michal, again, probably used to the safetying here, as he's done it, I think, 3 times in this match, including this one. Yeah. So Kyle just needs to get in the right headspace, and then hopefully he'll be able to actually solve the clock here, because the past 5 solves, a competitor has DNF'd, and Kyle has DNF'd 4 of those solves. So... So Michal is probably going to try setting very high benchmarks in order for Kyle to be a little bit more intimidated. But that's going to be definitely a good benchmark, I should say. 406. Ooh, wait. It's okay. All right. Kyle, I think that is that solved? That should be. Oh yeah, Kyle rejoined the room, so you get that point. 1 second. Michal, can you just submit a DNF on there? Awesome. All right, so the score is 11-3. Yeah. It should be Kyle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Kyle will be starting. 1 more point until halftime here. Kyle, you're starting, right? Yeah. Alright, so Kyle is starting. Scramble looks okay. Ooh, that pinky move looked a little awkward, but he could probably save it. The backside definitely... Oh, the backside's good. So, that's a 475. Solid from Kyle, but there's a lot more he needs to do to bring this match back into contention here, because he needs to win the next 12 solves while only conceding 3. This would be one of them, so... Michal looks fast. He looks more confident in his turning, but in his accuracy, he does the same. That's going to be a 412, so Michal will lead into halftime here. Okay, wait. This is the point where I ask both competitors if they want a halftime break. Only one has to say yes, and we'll give you that break. So, do either of you want a halftime break, yes or no? Both of you said no, just to confirm. Okay, so we will keep on going. The score is 12-3 in favor of Michal. All right. So, yeah. Can Kyle turn this around? That would be a pretty epic comeback, I should say. But we'll see what happens. It's a DNF. Looks like, yeah. It looked pretty solid, but then that fist really showed. 395, yeah, 395 DNF. This is an opportunity for Kyle to scrap some points here. Kyle, yep, doing a safety here. Yep, that looks good. So that's going to be a 7 from Kyle, but it's a point nonetheless, and that's all he really wants. He was so close to equalizing at the start, but he has never truly gotten a hold of the lead, or if has ever gotten a hold of the lead. He's always been the one trailing Michal, but who knows? This is Clock Cup. This could be a chance to change that. Ooh, this looks really awkward from Kyle. Is it a DNF? It looks like a DNF. That's going to be a DNF. So let me see. That's 1, 2. That's 5 DNFs and 7. There's something up with Kyle's nerves, I should say, because yeah. Michal flips quickly, trying to probably speed up the match here because he probably knows that he could win at this point. It's going to be a 457, so a point for Michal, and that's a 13-4 right now. All right. So, Michal here is going to try to set the benchmark. It should be a pretty high benchmark from that solve. It's going to be a 3.63, I believe. Yeah, 3.63. I'm getting very good at reading the times. But Kyle is going to try to go all out on this solve here. I mean, that looks pretty good, but I don't know if that's going to be a 363, 397. All right, so it was kind of close, but 14-4 right now. Kyle has a chance to set the benchmark for Michal to get his first Clock Cup win ever in his first match ever. But this will also be Kyle's first defeat ever in his first Clock Cup match ever as well. So, a story of firsts, but Kyle seems to end the way this match always went, which is with a DNF. A DNF 385. That is extremely unfortunate. So Michal is going to take a safety here, I should say. We went all out, but then, yeah, 414 safety, assumingly. So that's going to be 15-4 as the final score for this Clock Cup match. 15-4 in Michal's favor. Michal wins this Clock Cup match. All right, how are you guys feeling after that match? I know, Kyle, you had you had 6 DNFs in I think 10, I believe. So that's not bad. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to Michal for this win. This will probably be huge for you in your journey to advance out of the group stage. How are you both feeling after that?
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, so he wasn't expecting to win. Okay, yeah, I forgot I turned your volume off. But they heard the last bit of that, I hope. Kyle, how are you feeling after?
So I think that on all the solves that were like high numbers, it was just I misturned in the middle, and then I didn't really fix it until the end, so it was just like a bad solve. And then a bunch of them I had a good solve, but I messed up the memo, so it was a DNF.
Yeah.
So I think I can definitely improve that for the future, hopefully.
I saw that last DNF 385. That was extremely unfortunate.
I thought I was gonna come back.
Yeah.
Or like get like a couple more solves at the end, but no.
Yeah, that would have been pretty interesting. But all right, let me talk to you about this group, because this group is pretty hard. It's me and Jaden and you, and of course Michal, as we've said. So I guess to Kyle, how far do you think you're going to advance out of this group? Or do you think you're gonna go beyond this group? Do you think you're gonna get grouped? Or
I think I might be able to get third, but that's probably the best. So I could get a wild card, which would be nice. I don't know how that works though.
It's the 4 best based on solve differential,
Okay.
So you have to hold.
Oh, okay, well then that's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah. Michal, how do you think you're gonna do in this season? Do you think you'll advance out of the group?
I think so. I think I can.
If you do, how far do you think you're gonna go into the bracket? Like
Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Or
okay.
No. The first one, just like the.
The round of 16. That just.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. This is a crazy Clock Cup. This is like probably the craziest like Clock Cup I've seen in quite a while. So, or I mean, I've only done 2, but this is this is gonna be really interesting. Thank you guys for watching, especially on a Monday afternoon, or at least for the European folk here, Monday night. Thank you all for coming. I have some matches to announce for the first time, I believe, on stream. I don't think we have any matches tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check that. No, we don't have any matches. Actually, no, we do have a match tomorrow. It's going to be Cham versus Marcel. Yeah, Cham versus Marcel. And then Wednesday, there's no matches. And on Thursday, it's going to be Anders versus Jack Core. On Saturday, December 16th, it's going to be Eric versus Niklas. That will be a match you don't want to miss. That's going to be Niklas's debut match in Clock Cup. That's going to be happening on a Saturday afternoon, prime time for the European folk, and mid-afternoon, morning for Americans. And to round it all off for match week 1, I believe, we'll have Cameron versus Victor on Sunday at 3 p.m. EST. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all at those matches. All right.
Okay.
4, 5.